Wisdom from the Panchatantra. Introduction. Welcome to the captivating world of Panchatantra, a treasure trove of timeless wisdom and practical insights. In this book, we delve into the profound teachings of Panchatantra, an ancient Indian collection of fables, attributed to the renowned sage Vishnu Sharma. Passed down through generations, these stories have stood the test of time, captivating readers with their charm, wit, and profound life lessons. The Panchatantra stories take us on a journey filled with animal characters, who, through their adventures, mirror the complexities and challenges of human life. Within these tales lie invaluable gems of wisdom, offering guidance on various aspects of human behavior, relationships, and the pursuit of a meaningful and fulfilling life. Drawing from the pithy verses and thought-provoking stanzas of Panchatantra, carefully selected and compiled, this book presents a collection of the most poignant and relevant insights from the Panchatantra. Each stanza encapsulates profound wisdom, urging us to reflect on our actions, embrace virtues, navigate dilemmas, and make sound decisions. Through the pages of this book, you will embark on a journey that transcends time and culture, delving into the depths of human nature and illuminating the path to a well-lived life. The wisdom of the Panchatantra reminds us of the eternal truths that guide us through the complexities of existence, offering practical guidance on navigating challenges, cultivating virtues, and fostering harmonious relationships. May this compilation of wisdom from the Panchatantra inspire and enlighten you, encouraging introspection and empowering you to embrace the virtues that lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Let us now embark on this enriching journey together, as we explore the profound teachings of the Panchatantra and unravel the timeless lessons it has to offer. Maxims from the Panchatantra. Chapter 1. Unborn, deceased, and unintelligent sons, the first two are preferable, for they bring sorrow only once, while foolish sons are a lifelong torment to the heart. What value is there in a cow that neither bears a calf nor yields milk? And what value is there in a son who lacks both wisdom and dedication? A person who has immersed themselves in the wisdom of these ethical principles, or attentively absorbed their teachings, shall never be defeated, not even by Indra, the sovereign of the heavens. Asterisk note. Indra is a Hindu deity associated with rain, thunder, and warfare. There is hardly anything in life that cannot be accomplished with money, therefore, a wise individual should strive to enhance their wealth. With money, a person gains companions. When wealth is possessed, one is acknowledged by their relatives. In this world, a stranger becomes kin to someone who possesses riches, while a poor person is shunned even by their own family. A wealthy individual is even regarded as knowledgeable. Money rejuvenates the elderly, yet, the young age prematurely due to its absence. A wise person should never compromise significant interests for the sake of minor ones. As the study of language has no ultimate conclusion, with life's brevity and forthcoming obstacles as a constant infusion, let crucial facts be carefully chosen and firmly established, like swans extracting milk from a mixture, undeterred and steadfast. Even a substantial accumulation of wealth, if constantly diminished, will dwindle away like a pile of soot. A small amount, on the other hand, when consistently added to, will grow like an anthill. Hence, even if one possesses abundant money, it should be augmented. Unearned riches should be earned. Once earned, they should be safeguarded. What is safeguarded should be expanded and judiciously invested. Money, even when kept in hoarded manner, is prone to vanish swiftly due to numerous obstacles. Money left unused when opportunities arise is equivalent to not having money at all. Therefore, once money is acquired, it should be protected, increased, and utilized wisely. Set free the money you have earned, but also ensure its safekeeping. Just as surplus water in a tank must find a way to overflow. Wild elephants are tamed by the gentle. And the same goes for wealth and capital. In the realm of business, those who rely on empty hope find no scope to thrive. If anyone fails to utilize their destiny for present joy or future prosperity, their riches become foolish shackles, merely kept for the benefit of others. The lion requires no elaborate ceremony, no anointing to establish his position. His acts of heroism bring him fortune, and nature crowns him as king. The one whom fortune favors, even without protection, evades destruction. Yet, the one whom luck opposes, is doomed. Even if surrounded by strong defenses. A man left defenseless in the wilderness may survive, while someone who fights fiercely for survival might meet their end within the confines of their own home. You should never meddle in other people's business. A man who is not initially a minister can become one by serving the king diligently. But even a minister can be dismissed from his position if he fails to serve the king effectively. The servant who carefully observes what brings pleasure or displeasure to his lord can even gain the upper hand over a wicked master. And how can a wise man fail to handle a king when he witnesses that snake, tigers, elephants, and lions can all be tamed, one way or another? When many lives depend on a single one, then life truly holds its meaning. A crow, equipped with its beak, seeks to fulfill its own selfish hunger. If loving kindness is not shown to friends and suffering souls, to teachers, servants, and oneself, what purpose does life serve? What is gained? A crow may live for many years by feeding on the grain offered. A dog finds contentment even with a bone lacking meat, dirty and filled with gristle and scant marrow, insufficient to ease its belly's cry. The lion despises the jackal, although it has the power to strike down an elephant. For each individual, regardless of their dire circumstances, expects the compensation they perceive as their rightful due. Dogs wag their tails, fawn, and grovel, baring their mouths and bellies at your feet. Bull elephants display their pride, requiring much coaxing before they eat. A tiny stream quickly fills, and a mouse's paws move swiftly. Thus, men of lowly character are grateful even when little reason exists. For if there is no pondering between good and evil in the mind, and if religion does not pose challenges to one's will, if only greed remains for material indulgence, how can one distinguish between the human beast and the beast itself? What's duly his, a man receives. The 6 diplomatic methods are as follows. 1. Making peace or waging war. 2. Launching an attack or fortifying one's position. 3. Seeking protection under a powerful ally. 4. Instigating conflict between one's opponents. To appease an enraged king, flattery is required. Recognize his friend as your true ally. Consider his enemy as your foe. And show gratitude for the gifts bestowed. Thus, without resorting to sorcery, the king's favor can be earned. The thoughts of others can be discerned through their facial expressions, gestures, and words, as well as the subtle movements of their eyes. Cattle, with their ability to pull the plow across rugged and even terrain, and their willingness to bow their patient necks to the toil of heavy wagons, are gentle creatures, born without sin, finding nourishment in the grass they feast upon. How can they ever be equated with any human beast? A person without employment may be offered a job for their diligent service. Meanwhile, the one currently employed may face termination if found undeserving. No individual's character advances or declines based solely on the approval or disapproval of others. However, honor or contempt in this world will ultimately be determined by the intrinsic value of one's conduct. It still requires effort to carry stones uphill. They can tumble in an instant. This applies to both virtue and vice. Only the brave, the scholars, and those skilled in service are the ones who gather golden roses on this earth. To serve a king who fails to appreciate the merits of the learned is like plowing a barren land. An ox can comprehend, without a doubt, the spoken word. A driven horse or mighty elephant exerts its force. But men of wisdom can perceive in spoken thoughts through subtle cues received. For wit bestows its blessings upon its devotee. If a king requires a small stick to clean his ear or tooth, How much more does he need a person who possesses hands and the power of speech? A king who does not understand the difference between glass and diamonds does not deserve to be served. For how can a person of intelligence remain even for a moment in a place where men are unable to differentiate between right and wrong? And conversely, the servant who deserves to serve is the man who, when honored, remains humble, when insulted, keeps a scowl from his face and thus remains equally detached from honor and insult. For kings and servants mutually depend on each other. There can be no king without a servant and no servant without a king. When a king is pleased, he gives to his servants gold in abundance, and they in return for such honor, sacrifice themselves to him. Silk emerges from a lowly worm. Gold from the depths of rocks. The lotus blooms amidst filth. Fire ignites from a mere piece of wood. And the precious gem lies within the cobra's hood. Likewise, virtue can emerge from individuals of humble birth. Whatever is heard by 6 ears can never remain a secret. Therefore, a wise person should refrain from sharing their secrets with more than 2 ears. There are certain matters that can be shared with wives, others with sons, some with the family. But not everything can be disclosed to everyone. A strong man who trusts others may face mortality, while a feeble soul who remains cautious eludes demise. Even in the grasp of the mightiest of adversaries, the strong are not weakened by burdens. No road is too long for their ventures. The well-informed traverse all lands. To flatterers, no one is a stranger. Even the Lord of Learning, when speaking falsely, engages in deceitful conversations. He will be met with hatred, and his words will lack all persuasion. The king's favorites' tasks become a sudden cause of the king's boredom, especially when he is deep in thought, testing fragrances, retreating to solitude, or engaged in conferences. The storm shows mercy to the low bowing and feeble grass, but uproots the tall trees without hesitation. The strong engage in battle with the strong, but pay little attention to the weak. A man can traverse the ends of the earth, plunge into the depths of the sea, scale the summits of the mountains. Yet none can fathom the profound thoughts of a king. A man who, out of pride, fails to handle the high, the middle, and the low with care, shall meet his downfall and be ruined. A gentleman does not involve himself in hours of idle talk or rude squabbles, gossip about medicine, barbers, flirting, or food. Let everyone exercise caution within the palaces of kings, and let students refrain from rummaging through their professors' belongings. For those who meddle inappropriately will face swift and certain destruction, like candles lit in the evening within the homes of the destitute. The man who seeks the good of the king is despised by the common people, and the man who seeks the welfare of the people is despised by the king. What occupies a man's thoughts, what he observes or does throughout the day, will manifest in his murmurs during his dreams. A woman's smile may grace one man, her lips slightly parted, as if inviting his attention. She may playfully direct a remark towards another man, teasing and captivating him with her words. Meanwhile, she engages in flirtation with a third man, her eyes casting a seductive gaze, giving him a taste of her alluring charm. Yet, deep within her heart, she reserves her true affection for another, the one she genuinely loves. Who can place their trust in the love of such a woman, whose eyebrows are delicately arched like the focused aim of an archer? Her beauty may captivate many, but her affections are scattered, making it difficult to rely on her loyalty. The man who naively believes that a woman's love is exclusively reserved for him alone is bound to fall into her trap. He becomes a plaything in her hands, unaware of her true intentions and the fleeting nature of her affection. Has anyone ever encountered a crow that maintains cleanliness, with feathers untarnished by dirt or grime? Is there a gambler known for unwavering honesty, never resorting to deceit or trickery? Can one speak of a snake that harbors forgiveness in its venomous heart, letting go of its instinctual desire to strike? Is there a passionate woman who exudes an unwavering calmness, never succumbing to emotional turbulence? Can an impotent man exhibit unyielding bravery, facing challenges with unwavering courage? Does a drunkard possess the ability to exercise discernment and good judgment, making wise choices amidst their intoxicated state? And finally, can the friendship of a king truly be relied upon, free from hidden agendas or ulterior motives? When stepping into the grandeur of a palace, adorn yourself in attire modest and refined. Walk with measured steps, bowing humbly, displaying timely deference in your demeanor. Be attuned to the temper of the king, as well as the capricious whims that may arise. For in the realm of royalty, it is essential to navigate with tact and graceful poise. Even individuals who may be ignorant and ordinary, without notable merits or deserving of honor, can find themselves in favor with the king by simply being in close proximity to him. Similar to how vines and maidens naturally lean towards their nearest neighbors, kings are also inclined to be drawn towards those who stand in their immediate presence. The servant of the king, regardless of his caste, intellect, or character, is honored wherever he travels. The servant, by observing his master's countenance, can discern signs of anger or favor. And even if the master's mood fluctuates, the servant remains steady and steadfast. It is the brave, the learned, and those who attain bureaucratic power, these three, and these alone among all humanity, who have the ability to seize the golden fruits of the earth, win the favor of trusted advisors, those who are dear to the monarch, win over persuasive speakers, so you can gain the king's attention. But it is unwise to toil for the undiscerning crowd, for no one reaps a harvest by plowing barren soil. Serve a deserving king, even if you are friendless and destitute. After some delay, you will reap long-lasting rewards. If you harbor hatred for your master, you only degrade yourself. Failing to discern whom to serve, you are hating yourself. Treat the dowager, the queen, and the future king, the chaplain, the porter, the counselor, with utmost deference. One who seeks the forefront in battles, but remains behind in the palace, and walks behind in the city, is beloved by kings. One who flatters when addressed, does the right things, acts without expressing doubts, is beloved by kings. One who wisely bestows the royal gifts, including cash and garments, and wears the gifts with grace, is beloved by kings. One who never gives a reply that stings his master, and never laughs boisterously, is beloved by kings. One who never listens to whisperings in the women's quarters, and remains silent in their presence, is beloved by kings. One who, even in distress, never boasts and sings about his master's favor, is beloved by kings. One who hates his master's enemies, loves his friends, and brings both pain and joy, is beloved by kings. One who never disagrees, blames, or gets involved in intrigue with enemies, is beloved by kings. One who finds peace in the midst of battle, free from doubts and questioning, and considers exile as his home, is beloved by kings. One who considers dice as death, wine as poisonous, and other men's wives as statues, is beloved by kings. Just as birds abandon an old and withered tree that no longer bears fruit and fly to another, likewise, servants forsake a king from whom they no longer receive any benefit. Acquiring money is a laborious endeavor, and safeguarding it proves even more challenging. The constant flow of money brings troubles. Oh, this perpetual source of worries and concerns. A man who lacks desires does not infringe upon the rights of others. A man without excessive passion does not indulge in excessive adornment. The fool does not speak subtly, and the person who speaks their mind openly is never deceitful. This life is but a fleeting illusion. Youth flows swiftly, like a rushing mountain stream. Life is as fragile as fire in the grass, and its pleasures are as transient as the clouds in autumn. Our connections with friends, children, spouses, and servants are as ephemeral as a dream. Once speech begins, answers follow. And with each answer, more questions grow. Like a seed that, with timely rain, yields the fruits of further knowledge. A clever servant enlightens his master about the potential for triumph or disaster, emerging from paths of goodness or evil, and showcases his wit, bringing decisive counsel. The one who possesses such wit and insight should nurture and cultivate it with all might, thus earning a livelihood and gaining public recognition for his wisdom and benevolence. Let anyone who does not desire the downfall of his master freely inquire. Thus, the virtuous ones should behave, while the others are of a different wave. Snakes are akin to kings in their sensuous coils and heartless toil, their sinuous courses and armored forces, their savage harms that yield to charms. In all these aspects, snakes resemble kings. Hills, with their uneven and rough terrain, towering high above, become a dwelling place for humble folks who make their homes on their slopes. They also serve as a haunting ground for wild creatures, hungry and thin. In these aspects, hills bear a resemblance to kings. The things that claw and the things that gore are unpredictable and unreliable. The same can be said for a man with a weapon, rivers, and women. If a man excels in action, knowledge, or eloquence, position yourself as the king's humble servant, while his influence is strong. But be quick to distance yourself from him when he becomes unreasonable or absurd. Choose your words wisely, focusing on what brings advantage. Just as white cloth absorbs color more readily. Until you fully understand his power and character, your efforts will yield limited results. Like the futile attempt to compare the glitter of moonlight with the majestic slopes of the Himalayas. Be cautious and attentive in the presence of the king, as your well-being and prosperity are tied to it. Even though my royal master may not currently require my presence or assistance, it is still my duty to report to him at the appropriate time. Place each gem or servant in their rightful position. Do not adorn the feet with tiaras, simply because you can. Servants abandon kings who fail to recognize their worth. Even those of noble lineage, wealthy and well-served. If they lack respect from their peers, they become jobless and disgraced. Servants give their master notice that they will no longer serve. A gem, though set in tin, still retains its intrinsic value. Even if it adorns a less noble frame, it does not lose its radiance. Yet it reveals the true nature of its wearer. A king who can discern a servant's thoughts, whether they are dull, unfaithful, faithful, or wise, can find servants of every kind for every task. When there is no clear distinction between what is right and what is wrong, those who value self-respect will swiftly choose to move along. If masters fail to make a distinction among their servants' worth and skill, they will lose the dedicated service of those with energy and will. And in a market where it appears no distinction is made or told between a common stone and a ruby, how can precious gems be sold? There must be a sense of unity in all their interactions and tasks. For a prince cannot do without servants, and servants cannot fulfill their tasks. The worth or worthlessness of a horse, book, or sword, of a woman, man, lute, or word, depends on the qualities and skills that the user brings and instills. Silk is derived from worms, and gold from stone. Sacred grass grows from cow's hair alone. The water lily blossoms in muddy ground. From cow dung, lotus buds are found. The moon emerges from the vast ocean's embrace. Gems are born in the hooded snake's grace. Yellow dyes are made from cow's bile's might. And fire resides within wood, shining bright. It is through their worth and deeds displayed that the worthy attain distinction, not by birth's aid. Take action, even against mice that are born within your home. Eliminate any harmful rodents without hesitation. Persuade a foreign cat with enticing offerings to assist in keeping your house clean and free from infestation. The faithful, though lacking power, have their purpose. Their loyalty and trustworthiness can be of great value. The strong, who do evil, may possess might, but their actions bring harm and darkness. As for me, O king, do not scorn. For I am strong in my principles and true to my word. Do not scorn the wise who understand the universal truths that govern all. They cannot be swayed by the allure of mere material wealth. In times of great adversity and distress, you can find solace and relief by confiding in a powerful master, an honest and loyal servant, a faithful and true friend, or a loving and devoted spouse. Just as water undermines the strength of dikes, love weakens when malice strikes its core. Secrets crumble and fade away when babblings start. And simple words have the power to melt even the coldest of hearts. When making a move, tread wisely with one foot, while keeping your ground with the other in a steady stance. Do not abandon your current abode until you are certain of a new dwelling's chance. Even if a king is brave and fearless, and confronts powerful enemies in difficult situations, he is not exempt from experiencing humiliation and sorrow. The bravest hearts do not waver or tremble, even in the face of threats from heaven. While summer may dry up the pools, the mighty Indus River continues to rise even higher. On rare occasions, mothers give birth to exceptional leaders who are fortunate and courageous in battle, and remain resilient in times of sorrow. Do not behave like a blade of grass, without honest dignity, bowing low in weak subservience, easily brushed aside. Loyal servants, when their masters give orders, show no fear in any situation. They cross vast and uncharted seas if required, or willingly step into blazing fires. A servant who, when commanded by their master, seeks to comprehend difficult or easy tasks, should never become the king's advisor, for their role is to faithfully carry out the commands. Indeed, a servant wronged by a king, despite having faithfully served and honored, may, driven by anger and resentment, become eager to bring about the king's downfall. It is often the case that the strong, who trust too easily, are easily overcome by weaker foes. Yet the weak, who are vigilant and cautious, can find safety even from the mightiest adversaries. All counselors benefit from a king burdened with worries, and that is why they always desire his discomfort and embarrassment. Just as a healthy man has no need for a physician, so does a king devoid of troubles disregard his minister. 91. Whoever, in the presence of a king, utters even small statements that are untrue, brings upon himself inevitable destruction, and also brings dishonor upon his deities, and his teacher as well. The ancient sages proclaim that the king embodies all the gods, thus, treat him as you would the divine. Let no falsehood be spoken in his presence. The king embodies the essence of the gods, but with a notable distinction. He swiftly receives recompense for both good and ill deeds, while the gods mete out judgment in the distant realms of eternity. The earth has a limit, the mountains, the sea, the deep thoughts of kings are without boundary. Polished, thoroughly tested, sturdy and upright, such are the pillars essential to both a house and a state. Wit is shown in hours of crisis, doctors' wit, in sore disease. Counselors, in patching friendship, all are wise in hours of ease. There are 4 things that are like nectar. Milk-based food that nourishes and delights. A warm fire in chilly weather, comforting and invigorating. An honor bestowed by the king, uplifting and gratifying. And the joy of being with loved ones, united and cherished. A sinful chase, yet men can stalk the treasures of the crown. One starts the quarry from its lair, another strikes it down. Anyone who is too proud to show respect to the king's attendants will find themselves stumbling. If a king's servant focuses on the king's affairs, the common people will despise him. But if he advocates for democracy, the prince will condemn him. Since the competing interests are completely contradictory, finding a manager who can satisfy both is indeed a challenging task. Do not entertain vengeful and reckless desires to harm others, unless you possess the means. For even a chickpea, hopping up and down, cannot crack a frying pan. Whatever secrets, whether virtuous or wicked, that individuals hold within their hearts, are swiftly revealed when they become intoxicated, or speak in their unrestrained state. With one man, a woman tries the art of gossip. With her glances, she flirts with a second. Yet she holds another in her heart. Whom does she love enough to harm? Logs satisfy the hunger of a fire. Rivers fulfill the sea's longing. And death is satiated by life when the flirt has had her fill of men. No one is exempt from the arrogance brought by fortune. No one escapes the inevitable humbling by death. And passions lead every individual into a relentless cycle of sorrow and distress. In a realm devoid of opportunity, without any hidden corners or men to pursue. It is then, O wise sage, that you will find a truly faithful woman. The fool who believes, my beloved loves only me, remains under her control like a tamed bird. It is important to heed the counsel of those who genuinely care for our well-being and make use of their wisdom to avoid unnecessary pitfalls and unfortunate outcomes. It is difficult for a beggar to maintain dignity. The heart of no man is immune to the sting of a woman. There is one who can escape unharmed from the clutches of villains. And that is the one who is beloved by the king. Rare indeed are the instances where one witnesses or hears a gambler speaking the truth, a crow being neat and clean, a woman proceeding slowly in matters of love, a snake exhibiting kindness, a drunkard embracing the pursuit of knowledge, or a king forming genuine alliances with friends. Despite being foolish, lowly, and devoid of pride, a servant by the monarch's side can have their honor vindicated. Though designed with a disposition of cowardice, and possessing lowly qualities, a royal servant can still feel resentful towards those who offend them. A minor thing can elevate him greatly. A trivial matter can cause his downfall. Between a precarious balance and a scoundrel, there is no discernible difference. Even if they are esteemed and loyal individuals, even if they are dedicated in their service, servants will depart from a monarch who neglects to provide them with their rightful salary. A king may scold and reprimand, but servants will remain steadfast as long as he fulfills his duty by paying them promptly on the designated day. Some devour nations, these are the kings. Doctors feast upon those whom illness stings. Merchants consume those who purchase their things. And the wise men ate fools. The clergy thrive on the married's trust. Thieves consume the indiscreet, and flirts devour their eager lover's lust. The wicked ones employ deceitful traps and schemes. They patiently lie in wait, both day and night. And when the opportunity arises, they pounce. Like fish preying upon the weaker fish. Good counselors have a duty to advise a king, even if the king chooses not to listen or heed their words. Good counselors or skilled drivers do not avoid kings or rampaging elephants that go astray. They do not shy away from the danger, but face it head-on with wisdom and courage. Do not meddle in others' affairs. Money brings pain in its acquisition, in its preservation, pain and anxiety. Pain in its loss and pain in its expenditure. Oh, the never-ending trouble it brings. Those lacking astuteness cannot flatter convincingly. Only a lover can play the role of a charmer. No saints occupy positions of judgment and power. No honest and forthright speaker engages in deception. Only those who exhibit saintliness in their youth can truly be considered saints. For who does not embody saintliness when fading passions grow faint? In the case of holy sages, the mind ages before the body. Yet, in the worst kind of people, only the body ages while the mind never. Ascetics suffer due to their own greed. And kings face ruin when they heed evil counsel. Children are spoiled through overindulgence. Wives are led astray by the temptations of wine. Noble lineages are tarnished by wicked sons. Brahmins falter when they neglect their studies. Character is lost through association with the wicked. Farms are destroyed by neglect and disregard. Friendships crumble without mutual respect. Love withers away in the absence of care. Fortunes collapse due to reckless behavior. And hoarded wealth is wasted through carelessness or excessive generosity. Do not turn away a stranger who arrives at your door at eventide. Instead, honor them and you shall be transformed into a divine being. Some straw, a simple floor, and water, along with kind words spoken with care. These four essentials are always present where devout individuals dwell. Chapter 2. It is the duty of a minister to advise a king, regardless of whether the king accepts or rejects the advice. If a proud king chooses the wrong path, the minister is also at fault if he fails to provide counsel. The mind of a good person is blessed with the tranquility of old age. A king is ruined by having bad advisors. A sannyasi, ascetic, is ruined by the company he keeps. A son is ruined through overindulgence. A priest is ruined by neglecting the study of scriptures. A business or a farm is ruined through neglect. And a family and one's character are ruined through contact with bad people. An arrow, shot from a bow may not kill a man, but the wit of a clever man can destroy a host of enemies. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, bestows her favors upon the zealous and hard-working individual. She scorns the idle ones who rely solely on luck. So, shake off the belief in destiny and strive with all your strength. If you still face failure, find out what went wrong and learn from it. What cannot be achieved by force, may be accomplished through tact. The sacred fires are pleased by kind words. Indra is pleased by offering a seat. Krishna is pleased by water for his feet. The guest pleased by offering food to eat. It is indeed true that an enemy can be defeated through a clever trick. Even an ordinary person, if he is cunning, can avoid being overpowered by the strongest of individuals. Nothing in this world is impossible for a clever man. By administering medicine in small quantities, a person becomes stronger. Likewise, a ruler gains strength by gradually imposing taxes on their subjects. A cow must be tended to with care before she produces milk, and the vines must be watered before they bear exquisite flowers. In the same way, a monarch must nurture their subjects if they desire to extract the utmost from them. When a king completely surrenders to a single advisor, that individual becomes arrogant and obsessed with power. They strive for independence. And as this yearning festers within their heart, eventually, they will clandestinely plot the king's demise. Being a servant is perpetually agonizing. Only the feeble, those lacking initiative, serve the king unwaveringly. To criticize someone after openly singing their praises will be akin to breaking an oath. In the presence of the wicked, the virtuous are led astray. Hence the wise avoid the company of wicked individuals. To show mercy towards an enemy goes against the principles of royalty. Abstain from associating with an individual whose character remains unknown. You cannot alter a person's temperament merely through preaching. When the night is enveloped in darkness, and even the day is veiled, when streets are filled with muddied clay, and the husband remains distant, the flirtatious woman becomes exceedingly joyful and carefree. She pays no heed to the concealed bed, nor the husband's kiss, nor the comfort of a pleasant bed. Instead, she always seeks an illicit and forbidden affair. For unfamiliar men, the promiscuous woman will witness the destruction of her family, bearing the world's scorn, condemned by the prison's key. She risks a fate from which she cannot escape. There is reason in saying that one should not make friends with a fool. The setting sun and drunken man are both a fiery red. They sink in naked helplessness, their dignity is dead. The flirtatious says in heart, those who earn the esteemed title of blessed demonstrate a persistence akin to a camel, as they indulge in the fruit of pleasure, disregarding both effort and distance. Since the existence of the afterlife remains uncertain, and gossip often veers from reality, when you have ensnared another person's lover, it is advisable to relish the fruits of love. Destiny may deprive him of his virility, whether he be handsome or unattractive. Yet a woman, regardless of the price she pays, receives her lover warmly and intimately. Earth, heaven, and death, the sentient mind. Sun, moon, water, fire, and wind combined. Twilights, justice, day, and night's embrace. All observe mankind's actions, virtue or disgrace. Learn science from celestial gods. Or fiends in the depths below. Yet women's wit can rival them. How to rein them, one may not know. Observe the flaws that women bear. Impurity, heartless disdain. Falsehood, folly, impetuous fire. Greed excessive, and deceit's bane. Do not succumb to their allure. Nor wish for their ascendancy. Those enslaved by women's charms are like tamed crows, their wings clipped feebly. Sweet words from a woman's lips, but poison hidden in her heart. Though you taste her tender kiss, strike her on her treacherous part. This palace overwhelmed by vices, this fertile ground, where suspicion thrives in abundance. This swirling whirlpool of uncertainties and anxieties. This town consumed by recklessness, the frontier of sin. This dwelling where numerous fraudsters lie in wait. This container brimming with deceit and enigmatic words. That which perplexes even our best and bravest. This woman, this contraption, this toxic influence. Who placed it here to undermine faith? And sow discord in the realm of religious belief? Their virtues are but a bundle of vices. So, let beasts adore those with doe-like eyes, not men. They laugh or weep for valid reasons. They do not trust you, yet keep your trust secure. Do not let these graveyard urns haunt them. Keep your family and behavior untainted. Men of intelligence or valor, who excel in books or battles, in the presence of their female counterparts, undergo a complete transformation into absolute cowards. The guilty man is overwhelmed with terror, burdened by the gravity of his wrongdoing. His pride crumbles, his speech falters. His eyes wander, and his face turns pale. The sweat emerges upon his brow. He stumbles forward, uncertain how. His face grows pale, and his words falter. Distorted and jumbled, he starts to stutter. The culprit can always be identified. Trembling and casting eyes downward. Observe these signs as keenly as you can. And astutely pinpoint the guilty man. The innocent is self-assured. His words are articulate, his gaze undeterred. His countenance remains serene and bold. His righteous anger cannot be controlled. Do not slay a woman, Brahmin, child, an invalid, or a hermit mild. For severe transgressions, disfigurement is the appropriate punishment. Mad folly stings even the mightiest kings, who may succumb to vices. But the diligent care of servants should intervene and guide them with gentle and insightful teachings. In this world, there exist 7 vices. Namely, alcohol, women, hunting, quarreling, gambling, greed, and cruelty. These 7 encompass vice. In the world, there are fundamentally 5 situations that are considered inherently vicious. They are known as 1. Deficiency, 2. Corruption, 3. Attachment, 4. Devastation, and 5. Misguided policy. To start from the beginning, the vice known as deficiency refers to the absence or lack of any of the following: a king, wise counsel, a united populace, a fortified stronghold, ample resources, the authority to enforce punishment, and loyal companions. Secondly, when the subjects, whether they are foreigners or natives, become agitated and restless, either individually or collectively, it gives rise to the vice known as corruption. As for attachment, it was previously explained as encompassing indulgence in drink, obsession with women, pursuit of hunting, and so forth. The love group consists of drink, women, hunting, dice, and similar pursuits. The wrath group, on the other hand, includes scolding and related behaviors. When a person's desires in the love group are unfulfilled, they often exhibit negative traits associated with the wrath group. The nature of the love group is self-explanatory and requires no further clarification. The wrath group, as previously mentioned, consists of threefold divisions. However, it is necessary to provide further characterization for each division. Scolding refers to the act of unjustly attributing faults to someone with the intention of causing harm. Cruelty entails engaging in merciless and unjustifiable methods of inflicting death, imprisonment, or mutilation. Greed denotes an insatiable and ruthless desire for possessions. These are the 7 subdivisions that comprise the vice of attachment. Furthermore, there are 8 forms of devastation, which include acts of God, fires, floods, diseases, epidemics, panic, famine, and what is colloquially referred to as devil rain, representing excessive rainfall. This accounts for the vice known as devastation. Lastly, there is the voice of mistaken policy. This occurs when a person misuses the 6 strategies of peace, war, change of strategy, fortification, alliance, and deception. It involves making errors such as choosing war instead of peace, or peace instead of war, and similar miscalculations regarding the other strategies. Such actions fall under the category of mistaken policy. In situations where brute force would be ineffective, a clever device can still succeed. He who betrays his own trusted allies and replaces them with outsiders, shall meet his demise. Glue, a fool, a woman, a crab, a shark, indigo dye, and a drunkard. Once they become attached to something, they will never let go. A wise person, concerned for their well-being, will never place trust in anyone whose character, background, and capabilities they are unfamiliar with. How can servants find true well-being? The poor, the sick, the foolish, the exiled, and the servants bound to lifelong service, though physically alive, are truly dead. To claim that serving is akin to a dog's life is inaccurate, for even dogs are free to roam as they please, whereas servants cannot step outside the house without their master's consent. It is wrong for a minister to reveal his master's secrets. It is shameful to betray a friend in order to fill one's own belly. The fool who believes a king loves him should be likened to a hornless ox. Form marital and friendly bonds only with those who are your equals in social status and financial standing. If a man becomes angry due to a reason, he will calm down when the cause is removed. But who can pacify a man who chooses enmity without any reason at all? When a man has 2 wives, one cannot tolerate the preference given to the other. Similarly, the servants of a king cannot bear it when the master shows favoritism towards one of them. It is impossible to live among wicked people, even if they are insignificant. Wicked individuals, regardless of their status, are malicious and deceitful. They will inevitably bring about harm, one way or another, and pose a threat to your life. The head of the family must be safeguarded in every possible way, for if he perishes, the entire family will suffer great misfortune. Even gentle water droplets, when falling incessantly on a rock, can erode it over time. Similarly, constant complaints and criticisms directed towards someone can poison a person's mind. Abandon a master who is arrogant, incapable of distinguishing between right and wrong, or morally corrupt in his conduct. There is no friend as valuable as robust health. And there is no enemy as detrimental as disease. The love for children is unparalleled. And there is no sorrow like the anguish of hunger. No man can find contentment, whether amidst fields that stretch along riversides, with a wife inclined towards flirtation, or in a dwelling infested with serpents. These circumstances inevitably breed dissatisfaction and unrest. Courageous hearts find joy in sacrificing, valuing life less than serving a friend with kindness. Friends can turn into adversaries, and foes can become allies, as they either hinder or aid your objectives. Do choose to engage with venomous serpents, or reside with treacherous enemies who deceive. Beware of your false and foolish friends, those fickle souls who pursue malicious goals. It is wise to steer clear of such detrimental associations. Humanity is tasked with the responsibility to reprimand even those elder individuals who scheme with cunning and exhibit arrogance, unaware of their obligations and duties. Fear the things that evoke fear, even in their absence. But when the time comes to confront danger, take action boldly and let go of your apprehensions. Some individuals, due to their unperceptive carelessness, allow a minor adversary to flourish and thrive. The one who once played a trivial role expands like a rampant disease, spiraling out of control. Intelligence possesses tremendous power, yet it is puzzling to witness power entwined with foolishness. A fool's present desire to seek blessings through sinful deeds leads to 1,000 future lives plunged into wretchedness. How foolish is an act that brings disgrace, that erodes trust, that leads to damnation? The ungrateful body, frail and rank with filth within, is such that only fools for its sake sink in. The king who savors his kingdom slowly, in small portions like a precious elixir, who does not exhaust its resources, will fully enjoy its delights. The king who ruthlessly slaughters men, considering their lives as inconsequential as goats, may have one satisfying feast, but never another. A wise king safeguards his realm from unforeseen misfortunes, nurturing it with gifts and honors. Like a gardener tends to plants. Treat your subjects with care, like a cow, without demanding constant yield of milk. A vine must be watered first, before it bears fruit and flowers. A king relies on taxes from subjects to sustain his power and keep it bright. But has anyone ever seen kings who shine from an inner light? A seedling, when nurtured and protected, grows over time and bears fruit. Similarly, well-protected subjects are the source of a kingdom's prosperity. From their subjects, kings receive gold, grains, gems, and various goods. Among many other things, kings who serve the common good flourish abundantly, for the loss of the common people is unquestionably a loss for the king. He who attacks an enemy without knowing the enemy's strength will be defeated. Even in tough times, a person should not lose hope. It is important to remember that with determination and effort, one can undoubtedly find a solution. True prosperity belongs to those whose hearts are filled with joy and mirth. Those who disregard the well-intentioned advice of their friends are likely to face unfortunate consequences. Those who proactively address a problem before it arises and those who tackle it as soon as it emerges are both able to avoid negative outcomes. However, those who rely solely on luck are destined to face destruction. When a person of lesser strength encounters a stronger opponent, the most advisable course of action is to retreat or find a safe place to hide. There are no alternative solutions available in such situations. During times of disaster or hardship, those who are able to easily relocate to a different place can avoid witnessing the destruction of their families and land. By swiftly seeking a safer environment, they can protect themselves and their loved ones from harm. A man whom fortune smiles on, even when lacking protection, manages to escape destruction. On the other hand, someone with luck working against them is bound to face ruin, even if they have ample protection. When a weakling gets angry, he hurts only himself. An elephant can be controlled by a small goad, but is the goad as big as the elephant? When a lamp is lit, it dispels darkness, but is the lamp as large as the darkness? When a thunderbolt strikes, a mountain may crumble, but is the thunderbolt as big as the mountain? Similarly, the strength of a person lies not in their physical size, but in their zeal and determination. The size of a person is unimportant compared to their passion and drive. When small and seemingly insignificant things come together, they can become formidable and unbeatable. Just like thin blades of grass, when woven into a thick rope, they can effectively restrain even the mightiest of creatures, such as an elephant. Unity and collective strength can transform humble elements into a force to be reckoned with. Wise individuals do not sorrow over things that are lost, the departed, or what belongs to the past. However, a fool weeps for things that are not worth shedding tears over. By doing so, the fool adds unnecessary sorrow to the existing grief, thereby doubling their own suffering. This distinction between wise individuals and fools lies in their ability to discern where to invest their emotions and not amplify their own pain needlessly. A true friend reveals himself when they help you in times of trouble. A son proves his filial devotion when he obeys his parents. A servant fulfills their role when they diligently performs their duties. Likewise, a wife demonstrates her role as a spouse when she brings happiness to her husband. The essence of these relationships is showcased through their respective actions and commitments. During prosperous times, it may appear that everyone is your friend. However, it is the person who stands by your side and provides assistance when times are challenging that should be considered your true friend. This holds true even if that person belongs to a different social or caste background. Genuine friendship transcends societal divisions and is based on the support and care shown during difficult moments. When a weak individual, inflated with an exaggerated sense of self-importance, launches an attack against a stronger opponent, they inevitably find themselves in a position where they must retreat. When a person can confide their sorrows in a caring friend, a devoted servant, a supportive spouse, or an influential master, they discover a sense of relief. Sharing one's burdens with such understanding individuals provides comfort and solace. A king serves as a relative to those without family, a guide to the blind, and a protector to the law-abiding. Similar to how a gardener tends to their plants, a king has the responsibility to care for and nurture their subjects. It is the duty of a king to ensure the well-being and welfare of the people they govern. If a person prioritizes their own interests, it is wise for them to avoid offending others. Instead, they should interact with kindness and affection towards others, treating them as they would their own child. If you fear the master, you don't beat the dog. According to the belief, the goddess Lakshmi grants her blessings to those who exhibit zeal and diligence. She looks unfavorably upon those who rely solely on luck and idleness. Therefore, it is advised to set destiny aside and make a wholehearted effort. If despite your best efforts, failure occurs, there is nothing wrong in you, you have done your job. The wind possesses the strength to bring down a tree, yet it lacks the ability to lift it back up. Similarly, a narrow-minded person may have the capacity to ruin the work of others, but they lack the capability to rebuild or restore it. Take control of your enemies and diseases. Right from the beginning. Or else they will grow stronger. And destroy you. What can wisdom not overcome? What can determination not achieve? What can't flattery subdue? What can't ambition accomplish? When battles end, it's land, friends, and gold that are gained and cherished the most. But if any of these should falter, do not consider breaking the peace. In situations where victory is uncertain, and the rewards are few or none, it is wiser not to provoke a conflict, but rather endure and move on. A solitary royal fortress contributes greater military might than 1,000 elephants, or 100,000 horses in sight. A single archer standing tall can fend off 100 foes. Hence the military strategy recommends fortresses as it goes. In ancient times, God Indra, with divine wisdom and skill, built a stronghold when the world faced the wicked devil Asura's ill will. He proclaimed that any king who constructs a secure fortress grand shall conquer enemies and prevail. Which is why fortresses are scattered across the land. The mightiest man who neglects to vanquish disease or enemy right from the start shall eventually be consumed and crushed by that which he allows to grow. The person who accurately assesses their strength, with both humility and energy intact, can single-handedly defeat their adversaries. A warrior who fails to evaluate the strengths of two opposing hosts, driven by reckless eagerness for battle, dives headfirst into the conflict. Just like a moth drawn towards the flames, the weak who dare to confront powerful foes, engaging in a battle they cannot sustain, are akin to elephants with broken tusks, returning with their spirits subdued and drained. Continued hard work leads to success. Let the weaklings lament about fate. Defy destiny and show your true worth. Is it really a flaw if daring efforts fall short? The gods favor those who strive to reach great heights with resolve. Even Brahma cannot foresee the outcome of cleverly crafted deceptions. The impulses of a pure heart determine what is right and wrong when reason fails us. You feel apprehension upon the birth of a girl child, anxiety and desolation when suitors come forth. Will her chosen spouse be unworthy and coarse? Being a father of a daughter can be a challenging course. At her birth, she captures her mother's heart. Close friends, as she grows, drift apart. Even in marriage, she may cause distress. Having daughters can be a source of anguish, no less. When a poem or daughter is unveiled, the creator is consumed by doubt, questioning if they'll find the intended audience. Will they be appreciated and admired as they stand before the world? And what judgments will the critics pass? Let determination lead the great. No matter how desperate their circumstances, no matter how dire their hostile fate, elevated by unwavering resolve, with astute decision-making as their ally, they witness trouble grimly recede and fly. An army without a leader is destined to be defeated.